So today we're reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, beginning a new chapter, chapter 11, which is the Nityananda Charitra, the wonderful glories and characteristics of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Vishwambara Dvija Kula Singha, Jaya Hao Tora Jata Charanera Bringa. Vrindavan Das Thakur said, all glories to you, Lord Vishwambara, the lion-like personality among the Brahmins, Dvija Kula Singha. All glories to your devotees, who are just like bumblebees at your lotus feet, Charan Bringa. Jaya Shri Paramananda Purira Jivan, Jaya Damodara Swarupera Pranadhan. All glories to the life and soul of Shri Paramananda Puri. All glories to the life and wealth of Damodar Swarup. Pranadhan. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Priyamashai, Jaya Jagadisha Gopinatera Ridhai. All glories to the beloved Lord of Rupa and Sanatan. All glories to the Lord who dwells in the hearts of Jagadish and Gopinath. Hinamatte Navadvipe Prabhu Vishwambar, Krida Kare Nahe Sarva Nayana Gochar. In this way, Lord Vishwambar enjoyed his pastimes in Navadvip, yet not everyone could see them. Navadvipe Madhya Khande, Kotuka Ananta, Gare Vasi Dekaye, Shivas Bhagyavanta. The pastimes in Navadvip described in the Madhya Khanda of this Chaitanya Bhagavat are Ananta, unlimited. The fortunate Srivas Thakur saw these pastimes in his own house. Gare Vasi Dekai, Shivas Bhagyavanta. Nishkapate Prabhure Sevila Srinivas, Goshti Sange Deke Prabhur Mahaparakash. Srinivas served the Lord without any duplicity. For this reason, he and his family could see the Lord's Mahaprakash, or divine manifestations. Kapat. This is described in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. This term is there. Kapat. It's describing when Hanuman is describing his position to Narada Muni, and he's saying, I'm Kapat, which means a little bit duplicitous. But he's saying Nishkapat, that he says Srinivas, which means Srivas. Sometimes Srivas Thakur is referred to as Srinivas, and sometimes Srivas. No duplicity. Duplicity means, or it's Kapat. One should be free from Kapat nature, duplicitous nature. This means that externally one presents himself or herself as a very proper person. In our case, a very proper Vaishnava or Vaishnavi, dressed nicely, or tilak, etc. And apparently upstanding, but behind, in the backside, there's some different nature, different behavior. So this is some duplicitousness. It's not straightforward, no transparency. Front side, back side, there's some difference. So Krishna doesn't like this very much. We should be very straightforward in our dealings and very honest. Honest, they say that Satyam, Puram Satyam Dhimahi, that the devotees are actually, they are paragons of truth. They live the truth, they breathe the truth, and they distribute the truth. So their own lives have to be transparent examples of truthfulness. That's why so much is emphasized behavior. Even in the old days, maybe 20 years ago in ISKCON, sometimes they would teach courses in Vaishnava etiquette, Vaishnava Sadachar. Sanatana Goswami glorified Haridas Thakur because he was a balanced Vaishnava. He was an exemplary Gaudiya Vaishnava. exemplary Gaudiya Vaishnava, he has 2 tracks. The train runs on 2 tracks, parallel tracks. One track is his behavior, and one track is his speaking. So Sanatana Goswami, he glorified Haridas Thakur. He said, you are the ideal, you are the exemplar of devotion, because you behave very nicely. Your achar, your etiquette, your behavior, your characteristics, your dealings, the dati pratigrinati, bhungte bhojayate cheva. In other words, your loving dealings, priti lakshana. The priti lakshana, the lakshan, the characteristics of a Vaishnava are priti. Priti, pyar, prem, bhav. Priti lakshana means the characteristics of love. Loving dealings, tender dealings, gentle dealings. We have a phrase, we have this word in English, gentleman. We say he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. Dhira. Dhira, dhira janapriya priyo karo. Nirmatsaro pujito. Vande rupa sanatano rugu yago sri jiva gopalako. The said Goswamis, they were worshipped because they were nirmatsa, nirmatsarya. They were non-envious, they had no envy in their heart. And so they were liked. They were liked by the Dhira, Adhira. Dhira, Dhira, Janapriya. Janapriya. And we have some devotee here, I think, is Bhakti Janapriya. Is it? Bhakti Janapriya Das. Something, nice name. So, Dhira Janapriya, Adhira Janapriya. Dhira Jana, Adhira Jana. Those gentle people, gentlemen, they were dear to the 6 Goswamis, and the ruffians and rogues, the Adhira, Dhira and Adhira Janapriya, they were also dear to the 6 Goswamis. Why? Because they were non-envious. What does nirmatsar mean? One can only be nirmatsarya if he has the presence of priti. If priti is in the heart, one can be free from envy. Because envy, hatred, destruction, prejudice, bias, these are different shades and degrees and expression of hatred. And hatred is the antithesis of priti, or love. So the Swabhav, the Vaishnav Swabhav, the Gaudiya Vaishnav Swabhav, especially Gaudiya Vaishnav Swabhav. Gaudiya Vaishnav Swabhav is based on the Gaudiya Sadhya. The Sadhya Gaudiya Vaishnavism, or the Prayojan, is Prem. This is Prem Dharma, Braja Prem, Gauranga Prem. So especially, we say, our Ishta Devata, our Lord, Chaitanya, he was preaching, emphasizing not Varnashram Dharma, not moksha, moksha the Vaikuntha, because in other Vaishnava Sampradayas, they emphasize Varnashram Dharma. Dharma, art, kam, moksha, mukti. Sulokya mukti, sarupya mukti, sarsti, samipya, these types of Vaishnava muktis. Our Lord Chaitanya did not emphasize mukti. He preached Prem Dharma, Prema Pumartamahan. Therefore, there's no consideration about moksha. Moksha is not part of our prayojan, our sadhya, our goal. Our goal is all about prema, developing priti, sadhana to bhav, sadhana to rag. Rag is also a type of prema. Rag means attachment. Our heart becomes colored with intense feelings and attachments for the residents of Vrindavan or Mayapur and the Lord. So sadhana goes to rag, rag goes to bhav, bhav goes to prem. Prem goes sneha, man, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. Madanaikya, modanaikya. So it's a thickening, an ever thickening, and an ever condensation of love. So our dharma, our religion, our practices, our sadhana is based on loving exchanges, loving development, loving expression. So therefore, there's the 6 Goswamis, they were these exemplars of love. They have no envy, because when one has priti, he has no envy. Because on one side there's love, the other side there's hatred. Envy is just the shadow. That is the shadow of hatred, envy. If you're a hatred, you have envy. When there's love, there's no envy. And when there's love, there's no cheating. You can't cheat a person you love. Because love means you want to serve the person and make them happy. Cheating means you're trying to get something, and that's not love, that's exploitation. So that this is the teaching of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So he was glorified, Haridas Thakur was glorified by Sanatana Goswami because his behavior was very wonderful, his achar, his priti lakshana, his behavior was love-based behavior, love-centered behavior, centered on love of God, love of devotees, love of the creation, and love of the living entities. Jiva Prem. Because everything is connected to Krishna. This is all part of Krishna's Leela. This is all expression of Krishna's love. So there's Achar, and then there's Prachar. So Haridas Thakur, he was preaching the Nam Mahima, the glories of the holy name. So Sanatana Goswami said, you are the ideal Gaudiya Vaishnava. You behave very nicely. Your Achar is Paka, a very good Achar, and your Prachar. So he says that Srivas was nishkapat. Kapat was destroyed. There was no kapat in him. Because he was a loving devotee. He's a pure devotee. He's Narada Muni. So he could see the Lord's pastimes. Shivasera ghare nityanandera vasiti bap bali shivasere kareye piriti. Aharanisha balya bhave bhaya nahi jhane niravari malanira kare stanapane kabo nahi dugda parashile matrahai e saba achintya shakti malani dekai. This chapter is all about Nityananda, the characteristics. The characteristics of Nityananda, this is one of the most exciting and perplexing and enjoyable chapters of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Nityananda was residing at the house of Srivas, and he lovingly addressed Srivas as Bap Bali Shivasere, Puriti, because Srivas is quite a bit older than Lord Nityananda. Nityananda was absorbed day and night in Balya Bhav, right? Balya Lila, Poganda Lila, Kaishora Lila. Balya Lila, Balya Bhav means 1 year old Bhav, a child, 1 year old child, 2, 3, 4. This is the extent of it. Balya Bhav. A baby Bhav. The mood of a baby. So this is Nityananda. Nityananda was 12 when he left Ekachakra. He wandered 20 years in India. He joined Lord Chaitanya. He was 32, 33. So he's around 35 years old now. And he's in Balya Bhav. 35-year-old baby. I mean, and big baby. Because Mahaprabhu was 7 feet tall and Nityananda was taller or shorter? What is it? What is the final? What's downstairs? He's taller or shorter? Nityananda? Is any Pujaris here? Lord Nityananda is shorter or taller than? Little shorter. Alright, so but he's almost 7 feet tall. So he's a 7 feet tall 3-year-old. A 7 feet tall 3-year-old baby. Balya Bhav. That's his Bhav. And then he was absorbed in the mood of a child. He was not aware of external events. He continually drank milk. Dugda says that Niravari Malinira Kare Stana Pane. Stana is this. Malini, the wife of Srivas Thakur, who remember, in Krishna Leela, she's Kalimbika. Kalimbika is one of the Datris, nursemaids of Krishna. She assists Mother Yashoda in Nandagan. There's Ambika and Kalimbika. Ambika is the elder sister of Kalimbika. And they're both nursemaids. They're like in Vatsalya Bhav, or they are in Vatsalya Bhav. And they act like mothers to Krishna, and they even feed Krishna their breasts. So now she's coming, and also Balaram. So she's coming into this Gaur Leela, this Kalimbika, as Malini, the wife of Srivas. Balaram's coming to Nityananda, and Nityananda is saying, oh, I know who you are. You're not Malini, you're Kalimbika. You fed me your breast milk 5,000 years ago, so I'm still thirsty. I'm still thirsty. So then she would regularly, and she was about 65 years old, Malini. So we have a lot of extraordinary things here. A 7 foot tall man acting like a 3-year-old baby, a 65-year-old lady who doesn't have any baby children, giving milk from her breast. It's called Achintya Shakti, Yogamaya potency, making all this happen. Although there was no milk in her breasts, obviously, by the touch of Nityananda they were filled with milk. Such was the inconceivable potency of Lord Nityananda. Achintya Shakti Malani Dekhai. So, because Nityananda was thinking, Ami Gopa, Ami Gwal habe. I'm a Gwal, I'm Braja Gwal, Braja Gopa. This is Siddhanta Saraswati's telling. He considered himself a Braja Gopa. And Srivasa and Malani were his mother and father. Malani was an elderly gopi, and he was a coward boy. So he enacted that pastime. This was when Malani saw the path, when she saw or witnessed this experience that Nityananda's coming and then breast is filling and flowing with milk, she was astounded and struck with wonder. Chaitanyara nivarane kare nahi kahe niravari bhalya bhava malani dekhaye. Lord Chaitanya forbid Malani to tell anyone about this. She constantly saw the childhood pastimes of Nityananda. Malani Devi treated Nityananda like her own son. These extraordinary pastimes were not disclosed to anyone by the order of Srimad Mahaprabhu. But somehow or other, 530 years ago, these pastimes were unknown. They were only known to a few people. To Malani and her husband Srivas, Nityananda, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he advised Malani to keep these very secret, these exchanges with the Lord, these intimate exchanges, because the other devotees may not understand. They probably would not understand, and they may make offense to Nityananda or Malani or even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or they become confused, or their faith in the Lord may become diluted, they may become bewildered. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya, to preserve the integrity and preserve everyone's bhakti, he told Malani to keep these very secret, because you know it's a little difficult for ladies to keep secrets. So transcendental ladies are transcendental. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, I guess they're able to keep secrets. But Vrindavan Das Thakur, he's letting us in on the secret. Now I don't know why, this is his causeless mercy, maybe we'll find out as the chapter goes on. The Nityananda is opening the floodgates of his Leela and allowing us to peek into the Leela. And I mean, just imagine if perchance we would be employed in the house of Srivas Thakur, because he had a very big compound, a very large house and very large garden compound, Ishodyan. So he had many house servants. He had personal tailors, he had dhobis, he had Malis taking care of his garden, and house people. Just like today, we have so many people taking care of our houses and assisting us. So imagine if you were one of those fortunate, so-called lowly servants in the house of Srivas, and if you saw Lord Nityananda, then you would make this sound like this. If you saw Lord Nityananda drinking the milk from Malani's breast, then you would say, oh, wow, amazing, Adbhuta. So you're there, you're sweeping in the courtyard, and you see Nityananda, Hare, what's happening? It's most astounding, it's most inconceivable. So we're there. Vrindavan Das Thakur is allowing us to see this. These pastimes are eternal. They're Nitya Leela. They're going on. This Braja Leela of Balaram is Nitya, and Braja Leela becomes Nitai Leela. Nitai's Braja Leela becomes his Navadvip Leela, and that's also eternal. So somewhere in some material universe, if we go just telescope into that universe, project into that universe, of course that happens when we become Siddha. When we become Siddha, then time and space no longer exist. Time and space are limits for conditioned souls. But for the liberated souls, time and space do not act on them because they're liberated. What are they liberated from? Saganan samatityayitan brahmabhoyaya kalpate. They're free from the modes of nature, so they transcend the limitations of time and space. They can travel. Leela pravesh. Enter the Leela. Nitya Leela pravesh. What do we say about the siddhas in devotion? When someone attains perfection in devotion, how is he referred to? Nitya Leela pravishta. Nitya Leela pravishtam Vishnupad Shri Shrimadi Sri Bhakti Dhira Swami Prabhupada ki jai. We say Nitya Leela Pravishta, that he enters into Nitya Leela. He's gone there to Nitya Leela. So this can happen. Anyone who's siddha or in pure consciousness, he can enter the Leela. So Leela's going on. And it's the only thing that's separating us is time and space. Prabhupada sat on a bench in New York in 1966 in maybe Tompkins Square Park. And one elderly man sat next to Prabhupada. He said, Sir, you appear to be a holy man. Are you from India? Yes, I'm from India. Have you come here on some mission? Yes, I have a mission. I have a society. He said, oh, how big is your society? And Prabhupada said, I have 108 temples. I have 108 temples around the world. And then the man said, oh, where are they? Where are they located? In London and Paris and Frankfurt and Tokyo and all these places. Prabhupada said, they're there. There's only time separating us. There's only time separating us. The 108 temples are there, but right now I have a small storefront on 2nd Avenue, which I'm paying $35 a month to rent. But in a matter of time, I will have 108 temples. Because Prabhupada went to the Brigu reader in Hoshayapur, 1962, and Sneha Amrit Anand, her father, and Prabhupada said, I went to Brigu and they told me, it was forecasted that I would have 108 temples. So Prabhupada knew this. This was mentioned in his Janma Kundali, in his Brigu. So when he went to New York, he knew that either because of Brigu's revelation, or we would rather say, Brigu or no Brigu, Prabhupada is Trikalagya. Trikalagya. Trikalagya means that he knows future, past, and present. His vision is transcendental. Again, the siddhas are not limited by time and space, material time and space. They can see the future beyond the time that we can't see, and the space that we can't perceive. And they can see, most importantly, the spiritual world. So this is somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we didn't want anyone to see these pastimes, but Vrindavan Das Thakur of Veda Vyas is saying, look everyone, take a peek. Take a peek. Look into the pastimes. See the pastimes? Go carefully, go gingerly, don't walk too fast. Hold my hand. I'm Vrindavan Das Thakur. And I want to lead you into these pastimes. Come with me. Come with me to Srivasa's house. Do you see Nityananda, such a beautiful figure? Do you see him sitting on the lap of Malini? And he's drinking the milk from her breast. Can you see it? Can you believe it? Shh. Don't tell anyone. This is private. This is Rahasya Leela. This is only for you. This is for your relishment. This is not for your prachar. We preach Nam Hat. Nam Hat. Nityananda opened a Nam Hat, a marketplace of the holy name. This is for the public. But this is the Rahasya Leela. This is the secret Leela. Devotees only. Like they have a sign. This movie is only for adults. Adults only. So the Leela of Nityananda, these Leelas, we read these and we relish, oh my Nityananda, oh my Balaram. Hoila Nitai, Balaram. This is the same Balaram. Same Balaram who's stealing yogurt and stealing milk. He's coming as Nitai. And these we can, because Nitai is so compassionate, and this is Audari, he's saying, yes, Vrindavanas is saying, yes, come in the embrace of Nitai's pastimes. I'll share these with you, because you're a devotee, and you're a worshipper of the Bhagavat, and you're on Bhagavat Marg, and you're a Bhagavata. You're a Bhagavata. You are dedicated to the service and love of Bhagavan. So, look, Look, hey, psh, psh. Oh, really? This is amazing. I remember years ago when there was one photocopy of Chaitanya Bhagavat floating around back in God knows when, 83 or something like that, 1983. We got a copy of Chaitanya Bhagavat, A4 size, and photocopy in English. I don't know who translated, maybe Sarva Bhavana or someone. And we're reading it, Nityananda? Shiva Malini? This is astounding. But it was so wonderful. It was so sweet. Because it's Balaram, it's Braj Leela. It's going on. It's still going on right here in Navadvip. And Kalimbika is coming back. Kalimbika is coming back. The nursemaid of Krishna is coming back as Malini to continue the pastimes. As they say, the beat rolls on. The Leela keeps rolling, keeps moving. In a new flavor, a new feature. Becomes more attractive and more accessible. That's the whole thing. When Braj Leela is packaged by Gaur Nitai, it becomes more accessible, more perceivable, and more understandable. So Vrindavan Thakur is saying, yes, this is the Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is for Chaitanya Bhaktas. We are Chaitanya Bhaktas. Our religion in Bhakti Ratnakar, Narahari Chakravarti Thakur, he's telling, in Navadvip, when people are walking down the street, and they saw the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We identify ourselves to create a certain legal entity. To create a certain legal entity for ourselves within the context of the four acceptable Vaishnava Sampradayas. We say we are the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. That's a really big mouthful. Brahma Sampradaya, TK, Madhvacharya, the most recent, famous and powerful proponent of the Brahma Sampradaya, Madhvacharya. So Brahma Madhva, but Gaudiya. So Narahari Chakravarti is telling in Bhakti Ratnakar, when the people of Navadvip saw this following of Nimai Pandit coming, dancing in kirtan and the ecstatic feature of Mahaprabhu Nitai and everyone, all castes and creeds, everyone joining, rickshawalas and baniyas and Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Muslims and everybody joining in the kirtan party and all becoming one and all hearts melting together and all voices crying out in great ulas and prem sankirtan and Gauranga leading the way and everyone looking at Gauranga and their hands raised and invoking the mercy of the divine. And such a beautiful sangha of Sankirtan, carrying torches and the moonlight and the star and the torches going down the foot lanes and pathways of Navadvip. Everyone would say, oh, look, here come the members of the Nimai Sampradaya. Here come the members of the Nimai Sampradaya, the fifth Sampradaya. So this was the ecstatic revelation of Narahari Chakravarti Thakur and Bhakti Ratnakar. This is our inside feeling. Officially we're trading. Oh yes, we are Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. But amongst ourselves, we say, Jai Ho, Dandavat Brahmaji. Dandavat Brahmaji, Dandavat Madhvacharya. But we are Nimai Sampradaya. We're the Chaitanya Saraswat Sampradaya. This is the inner secret, a hidden family secret. Because if you examine the sadhana and the sadhya of the Madhva Sampradaya compared to the Gaudiya Sampradaya, koi similarity nehi. There's no similarity. Their sadhya is Vaikuntha, our sadhya is Braj. Their sadhya is Dasya Bhav. Their goal is Vaikuntha, Dasya Bhav. Our goal is Braja, Madhurya Bhav, or Sakya Bhav. And so many things. There's even websites, there's internet sites by the Madhvas from Udupi who make websites that say, we have nothing to do with the Gaudiya Sampradaya. I'm serious, you can go on. They write, from their side they say, we have nothing to do with these Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because in Madhva Sampradaya, if you want to attain moksha, first you have to take birth in a Brahmin family. Then you have to come to the platform, take sannyas. Then if you become perfect in sannyas ashram, then there's a chance you can get moksha, Vaikuntha mukti. So it becomes extremely limited. If we say, okay, how many here are born in Brahmin family? Okay, if you're not, everyone leave. Okay, well, the speaker will be the first one to leave. Okay. Like the Pied Piper. And see who follows. Of course there are some Brahmins here. Okay, all right, now you're a Brahmin. Okay, that's a good start. Now, are you sannyas? No, okay, you go. Then who's left? Nobody. So nobody gets moksha. What to do? Kya kare? Ki korbo? So, Patita Pavanavatar Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. This is the age of Kali, of the Sankirtan. Krite tad dayato Vishnum. Kalo tad hari kirtanat. Kalo tad hari kirtanat. This Kalo, Kali Yuga, this is the age of Hari Kirtan. All perfection will come from Hari Kirtan. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. Kalo anasteva, nasteva, nasteva, gatir anyata. Anyata. No other way. Anyata. So, our Nitai he's opening up the treasure house of his intimate and most beautiful pastimes through the heart of his beloved devotee. Because his beloved devotee, Vrindavan Das Thakur, although Chaitanya is saying, Malini, don't tell anyone about these pastimes of Nityananda Avadut, his Balya Bhav Leela in your house. Gare Vasi Balya Bhav. Please don't tell. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not tell Vrindavan Das Thakur, don't tell, don't write. And he's in love. He's in love with Nityananda. Nityananda is his Priya Thakur, his Priyatam, his Prananath, the wealth of his life. His most dear and beloved Lord is Nitai. He dreams of Nityananda. He glorifies Nityananda. He prays Nityananda. He worships Nityananda. Vrindavan Das Thakur. So he's thinking, I must tell about these pastimes of my Nitai. I must reveal to the world so they can relish. So, read on. Prabhu Vishwambara Bale, Shunya Nityananda, Kaharo Sahita Pache Karatumi Dwanda, Chanchalata Nakariba, Shiva Saragari, Shunya Shri Nityananda, Shri Krishna Sanare, Amara Chanchalya Tumi, Kabuna Paiba, Apannara Matatumi, Karina Vasiba Vishwambara Bale Ami, Tomabala Jani, Nityananda Bale Dosha, Kahadeki Shuni, Hasi Bale Gora Chandra, Ki Dosha Tomar, Sabakari, Anabrishti, Kara Avatar. Vishwambara said, listen Nityananda, you always pick a fight with someone. Don't play any mischief in the house of Srivas. Hearing these words, Nityananda remembered Krishna, and he replied, Vishwambara, you will never see me perform any mischief. Do not consider me to be like you. Because Nityananda was thinking of Vishwambara as Krishna, and as everyone knows, Krishna is extremely chanchal, extremely chatur, extremely mischievous. So Nityananda said, you're telling me not to be mischievous. I'm not like you. I'm not like you. What is this? Huh? What do you think? Then Vishwambara says, I know you very well. Nityananda replied, tell me, what faults do you find in me? Gaurachandra smiled and said, do you want to know your faults? I'll tell you. You throw foodstuffs all around the room. So, sounds like he's acting like Krishna. Nityananda Bale, Iha Pagal, Se Kare, E Chalaya Kare Bhat, Nadibe Amare? Nityananda replied, Only a puggle, only a madman acts like that. In other words, only a madman is going to throw his food all over the place. An ordinary sane man will honor the prasad, put it in his mouth. A madman, right? A madman will throw the food. Hey, the guy's crazy, man. Or some baby. Babies are madmen, and babies are about the same. But babies go like this and like that. But that's permissible. But if you're a grown man, then you're puggle. So Nityananda is saying, hey, what do you think? This is your trick. This is your trick, Vishwambara, to deprive me from eating rice. So Nityananda is making a joke. In other words, he's trying to say, Vishwambara is saying, Nityananda, don't play any mischief here. You're throwing your food all over the place. You're throwing your rice all over the place, so now go somewhere. Don't eat over here, because you're going to throw your rice everywhere. So the Nityananda is saying, oh, okay, what is this? You don't want to feed me? You're trying to deprive me, not give me any bhat, any rice, because you think I'm going to throw it all over the wall? So now Nityananda says, Amare na diya bhat suke tumi khao, apakirti arakena bhaliya vidhao. Nityananda said, you do not feed me rice, while you yourself are happily eating rice. Why else are you telling everyone about my misdeeds? So this is obviously Hasya Ras, right? Prabhu said, Tamara apakirtye lajapai sehi se karanate ami tomare shikai. Vishwambara said, I feel embarrassed by your misdeeds, Nitai. For this reason I am trying to instruct you. Hasi bale Nityananda bhada bhala bhala chanchalya tequila shika iba sarvakal. Nityananda smiled and said, very good. Bhala bhala. Whenever you see me restless, please chastise me. Nishchaya bujila tumi ami se chanchal eta bhali prabhu chahi hase kalakal. Nimai, you must have understood that I am indeed very restless. After speaking like this, Nitai looked at Nimai and laughed loudly. Haribo. It's evening time. There should be some entertainment, no? We don't have television, so we have to make the best of it. Anandena jani bhaya, kon karma kare, digambara hai vastra, bandi lena shire, jore jore lampatehi, hasya hasya, sakala angani bule, dulia dulia. Out of ecstasy, Nityananda lost his external consciousness and forgot what he was doing. He then took off all his clothes, Haribo, and tied his clothes on his head. Nityananda Rama ki. He laughed and jumped about and staggered like a drunkard about the courtyard. So here you have it. So now there's following in the footsteps and imitation. Anusaran and Anukaran. So please don't anyone imitate. At least right now. This is our Nitai. Nitai he's Avadut. Of course, this was before he got married. Remember this. That's why Lord Chaitanya told him, you better get married. Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deputed Nitai to start preaching, he reformed his character and got him married. Because as you know, when anyone gets married, they really slow down. So this is an old trick. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used this with Nityananda. You have to become really responsible and really sober and really boring. Boring. That's what happens when you get married. So, but now he's not married, so he's really free form. Free form, anything goes. It's a party. All right. Braj Bob, I'm a coward boy. You think I'm 35 years old? You think I'm 7 feet tall? That's your problem. I am 3 years old. Balya Bob, oh, ha ha, hee hee, ha ha. Jai Jai Nitai, Jai Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Sridham Mayapur. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Sham, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. I made that one up myself. So now try to see Nitai. This is our worshipful Lord. This is Balaram, our Ishta Devata. He's naked. His clothes are on his head. He's laughing. He's staggering about the house of Shivas, 300 meters south or whatever it is, north of here. 300 meters north of here. This is going on in Aprakat Lila. Aprakat. There's Prakat and Aprakat. 530 years ago was Prakat Lila. Everyone could see. The Nastiks, Pashandis, not there, not inside there, it was all locked. But the Harinam going up and down the streets, the Pashandis, the Nastiks, the Muslims, everybody could see. There was no Muslims, maybe some. They could see the Sankirtan, they could see Nitai dancing in ecstasy. And Jagai Madhai, the village people. This is a very private affair. But that's Prakat Lila. Now it's Aprakat. Only the Premis can see, the Siddhas can see, but it's going on. You go down there, you hear kartals, you hear ankle bells, Nupura kartal, Janjan, and singing. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur was here in Godrum, 180 years ago, he was hearing kirtan coming. He was hearing kartals coming from the middle of the field. No one's there. It's a desolate area, lonely area. Because he was hearing, he was perceiving the Aprakat Lila. The pure devotees can see this. It's called Aprakat Prakat. But it's still the word Leela is there. The pastime is Nitya Leela. Aprakat Nitya Leela, Prakat Nitya Leela. So if we have the eyes of pure devotion, we could be there. Our hearts could be in Shiva Sangam. Our eyes could be the eyes of our hearts. The eyes of our purified hearts could enter Shiva Sangam. We could see this amazing, amazing Leela, our Nitai, absorbed in Brajabhav. Innocence, the innocence of a child. We can't transport any of our adult contamination into this Leela. This is transcendental Leela. It is innocent, it is pure, it's Dibya Leela. No contamination, no materiality, no morality. There's no morality here. There's no morality, there's no immorality. It is only the free flow of pure pastimes. It's all love. It's Bhav, Brajabhav. So we have all kinds of duality, dvandva. Icha dvesha, what is it? Icha dvesha smutena. Dvandva mohina bharata. Krishna is saying in Gita. We are born in this world, dvandva. We have this duality, we have a dualistic mind. Right, wrong, big, small, moral, immoral. But in Krishna's Leela, there's no dvandva. It is absolute, transcendental, on all sides, pure and transcendental. So this is beautiful Leela. It's so sweet, it's so attractive and charming. That Krishna, he has this Balya Leela, this is going on. This is Balya Bhav, Balya Leela. Bala Gopal, Bala Nimai, Bala Nitai. So this is such a beautiful experience. This is one of the most intriguing chapters of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Nityananda was reenacting his Braja pastimes, absorbed in bliss, completely devoid of external consideration. He was imitating his childish activities, bewildering the minds of people who are dependent on sensual perception. His hopping about and frivolous sporting in various ways are beyond the consideration of materialists. Gadadhara Srinivasa Araharidas Shikshara Prasade Sabe Deke Digvas. Seeing Nityananda, Deke Digvas. Digvasa. Digvas means Digambara. Seeing Nityananda's absence of clothes, Haridas and Gadadhar, they understood that these pastimes were being performed to teach some lesson. And tomorrow we'll find out what is that lesson. So freeze that transcendental scene in your mind and hearts. There's Nityananda dancing, laughing, and Srivas Sangam with his clothes tied around his head. Gadadhar is there, Srivas is there. Everyone is thinking, this must be some lesson, because Nityananda is Guru Tattva. This must be some shikana, some lesson, some teaching, because he is Adi Guru. Sandhini Shakti, he establishes one, fixes one in the service of the Lord. So he's teaching. So what is the teaching here? What is the lesson here? Well, Vrindavan Das Thakur will reveal to us tomorrow. Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat by Ved Vyas Vrindavan Das Thakur. Continuing chapter 11, the ecstatic pastimes and characteristics of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And we left Nityananda. He didn't have any clothes on. We left him with his digvas. And Mahaprabhu is seeing this. Gadadhar, Srivas, everyone is seeing Nityananda dancing around in the mood of a child. Vrindavan Das says that these pastimes were to teach some lesson. I'm not sure what the lesson is. I read ahead in the chapter. It's not very clear what the lesson is, but we'll see. Vrindavan Das Thakur reveals what that lesson is. Text 24. Dhaki bali Vishwambar eki kara karma, gashtera bhadite e mata nahi dharma. Vishwambar called out, "What are you doing, Nitai? It is not proper to act like this in a householder's house." Vishwambar loudly protested the mischievous activities of Nityananda. And he said that it was extremely objectionable for an adult to wander about like a boy without any clothes on. In the village you often see, in Radhakund and maybe in Bengal in villages, some little boy or little girl, they may wander around with, in the winter time they usually wear a shirt and no pants. It makes it more convenient for the bodily activities. And the clothes don't get dirty. Downside. So they wander around with no clothes, because they're 1 year, 2 years old, 3 years old. But if they come back to the village when they're 15 or 20 like that, they won't make it. No one, it'll be most objectionable. Text 25. Ekani balila tumi amiki pagal ek shane nijavakya guchila sakal. Ishmar continued. A little while ago you asked me, Nitai, am I a madman? But now you are contradicting your own words, because you're acting like a madman. Vrindavan Das says, Jarabaya nahi tara, vachane ki laj, Nityananda basaye, ananda sindhu maj. Can anyone's words embarrass a person who has lost his external consciousness? Nityananda was floating in an ocean of ecstasy. Ananda Sindhu Maj, Vasaye. Vasaye Ananda Sindhu. So, because Nityananda was merged in an ocean of ecstasy, he was completely aloof from the good and bad of the external world. Apane Dariya Prabhu Paraya Vasan, Emata Chintya Nityanandera Katan. Vishwambar personally caught a hold of Nityananda and dressed him. Such are the inconceivable pastimes of Nityananda. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is dressing Nityananda. He's doing the Sringar Seva. The Lord Himself is doing Shringar Seva. I know Indra in Vrindavan, on Saturday and Sunday, he usually dresses Radha and Shyamasundar. Or moreover, he usually dresses Krishna, and Mukunda Datta dresses Radharani. But he says, or he said once, that when he dresses Krishna, first he prays to Radharani. He said, Radharani, I'm going to dress your Krishna. Your Krishna. I'm going to dress him and decorate him. So how would you do that? So please guide me, please inspire me, please move my mind and hands to dress Krishna as if you would dress him and decorate him with ornaments and jewelry and whatnot, and garland, and pin his dress up and chatter in a certain way. So Indra prays to Radharani, Radharani, please, I'm going to dress Shyamasundar, so you please inspire me, move my hands as if they're your hands, and give me ideas to use me, nimitta matram. Krishna says in Gita, nimitta matram. Arjun, simply be an instrument in my hands. So Indra prays to Radharani, let me be an instrument in your hands to execute the service of dressing Shyamasundar exactly how you want to see him. How do you want to see Shyamasundar today? How do you feel about Shyamasundar? What is your mood towards Shyamasundar today? Are you in a festive mood and you want him to be dressed very festively or very down, or let's say simply or whatever? So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's become quite amazed seeing Nityananda undressed, Digvasa. So he's personally dressing him. So anyone's a pujari, if they have Gaura-Nitai deities, they maybe can consider when they're dressing Nitai, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you once, not only once, but on several occasions, in Srivasa's house, when Nityananda was in Balya Bhav and jumping around with no clothes on, because he did this quite a bit, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you dressed him, so how can you inspire me to dress Nityananda today, as if you were dressing him? Interesting meditation, a change of the objectivity of our thinking process. So these are the inconceivable pastimes. Chaitanyara Vachana Ankusha Matramane Nityananda Matasingha Aranahi Jane. Nityananda was like a maddened lion, and he could not be controlled by anything other than Lord Chaitanya's words, which were like a sharp iron hook. So, Nityananda Matasingha, a Matasingha, he's a mad lion. Nityananda was a mad lion. You could imagine trying to control a mad lion. The best thing to do would be to climb a very tall tree. A mad lion. So, Lord Chaitanya's words, Chaitanya Vachan, they were able to control Nityananda. Why is that? Why could the Chaitanya Vachan, they were Ankush. This Ankush is this rod, we say the elephant goad, Ankush. It's for controlling the elephant. I believe there's an Ankush on the bottom of Krishna's foot. There's 19 marks on Krishna's 2 feet, 11 marks on his right foot, and 8 marks on his left foot. So on his right foot, under his pinky toe, little toe, there's an Ankush, elephant's goad. So when the devotees meditate on Krishna's feet, or Madhav's feet, and they think of that elephant goad, Ankush, then they think that this Ankush, the Mahot or the trainer of the elephant, who's riding on the elephant, he takes this Ankush, which has a straight rod like this, then there's a little hook off the top of it. And he takes that hook and he catches the elephant behind the ear. As you know, in our body, if you press your finger behind the ear, it's very soft. very soft place. The same with an elephant. Elephant's skin is very stiff and hard, like bark of a tree. But behind his ear is very soft, so they're riding on this elephant and they, ow, 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 ow. So they pull the ear, turn right, and they pull this ear, turn left, like this. So when we meditate on Krishna's right foot, that Ankush is under his small toe. And that meditation will control the mad elephant of our minds. Our minds are like mad elephants. And Rupa Goswami warns us that mad elephants should be kept far, far away from our garden of devotion. Right? Bhakti Lata. Each of us is growing a garden of bhakti, Bhakti Lata, a garden, a bagicha, Bhakti Bagicha. But if a mad elephant comes in there and tramples down, then all the plants can be destroyed in a few minutes. It's called the mad elephant offense. So my mind is like a mad elephant. The mad elephant of my mind is always pushing me and encouraging me to offend the devotees. This mad elephant mind, as our Gaura Govinda Swami used to say, Pagomana, crazy mind, in his great ecstatic symptoms of his lectures. Gaura Govinda Swami, Pagomana, crazy mind. So meditating on the Ankush, on the bottom of Krishna's right foot, by that mercy of Krishna, then Krishna will take his own Ankush, the Ankush Chinna, the mark of Ankush on the bottom of Krishna's feet. Krishna is that great controller of the elephant. He will control the elephant of our mind. Rishikesha Rishikenan Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. Rishikesh. The sixth sense. There's 5 Panchindriya. Gyanendriya, Panch Gyanendriya, Panch Karmendriya. And the emperor, above them all, the 11th sense is the man, the mana, the mind. So Krishna can control the mind. So these words, it says Chaitanya Vachan Ankush, this Nityanandhara Mata Singha, this mad elephant of Nityananda could be controlled only by the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because Nityananda is a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the true servant, the transparent servant, the surrendered servant, and the dedicated servant, he is always controlled by the words of his master. The words of his master, he's controlled. He's controlled by the mind of his master. He's controlled by the heart of his master. The first-class servant, he is controlled by the heart of his master. He knows the heart of the master. The master does not have to speak. He does not even have to think. He doesn't have to think, oh, I've been writing for so many hours, and then a thought comes in his mind. Actually, I'm thinking I'm thirsty. I haven't expressed my thought, but I'm thinking I'm thirsty, and maybe I need some water. So the second-class servant, he'll be identifying, he'll be so much thinking of this, he'll be thinking of the guru or thinking of the master and thinking, oh, maybe he's thirsty. But the first-class servant is Hriday Tadatmika. He is one with the Atma, with the heart of the guru. The first-class servant is one with the heart of the master. Way long before the master speaks or asks for anything, long before the master even thinks about asking for something, when before the feeling comes, then the servant is there. He brings some water. Master Sahib, or Guruji, I bought some Nibu Pani or some cold Tanda Pani for you. Acha, how did you know? I was feeling some thirsty. Yes, I know. This is Tadatmika. Tad-atmika. One with the heart of Guru. So Nityananda, he's a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So who can control a mad lion? No one can control a mad lion. Nityananda Mata Singha, Chaitanya can control. So Prabhupada, he went to New York, like an incredible circus, what do they call it? The master of the circus? Ringleader, thank you. The ringleader of the circus. He went to New York, he went to the jungles of material sense gratification, the forest of material enjoyment. He went to New York City, and he collected all these wild lions and tigers. Mata Singha, all these wild lions, mad lions. And with his words, his sweet, kind, lovable, powerful words, he controlled all these mad lions. And they surrendered. And they became like peaceful pussycats. A peaceful pussycat. Pussycat means a baby, like a little lion, baby lion, pussycat. You pet the pussycat, you go like this and goes. Of course we don't, it's kind of moochy. But at least in America they have cats and dogs, and they are like cats and dogs. But the kitty cat, if you stroke his back or her back, whatever, then they make this sound. Their throat gets choked up in ecstatic symptoms. Gadgada, gadgada. Nayanam galad ashudaraya, varanam gadgada, varanam gadgada uriya gira, gadgada, gadgada, gadgada. Their throat gets choked up. So when you pet the cat, then he emits this sound from inside it. Anyone's heard? You heard? Yes? No? Yes? No? But don't try it out on a big lion. There's a big lion in the zoo. Let me try it out. Little cat, maybe big cat. So Prabhupada, he was able to train and tame the wild jungle lions. Guru Mukha Padma Vaktya Chite Te Koriya Aikya. Aikya, Eka. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Chitta Ek Chitta Ekena Chitta. That we Ananyas Chintiyantamam. Ananya Chint. Ananyas Chintiyantamam Yejana Prepashate. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Te Koriya Aikya. Our chit became Eka. Our heart, our intelligence became one with the words of Guru or Prabhupada. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his words, his vachan, Chaitanyara vachan, he's able to control the wild lion of Nityananda, who's acting like wildly and mischievously. Similarly, the words of the Guru, from the lotus mouth of the Guru, Guru Mukha Padma, not only the words, his mouth is like lotus, his words are like makarande. Mana mana samanakara arpaya nijapada pankaja makarande Krishna Deva bhavantam vande Krishna Deva bhavantam vande Vande Shri Guru Ki Jai. So the Guru's words, his mouth is like lotus, but is emanating a nectar. The words of Guru are like a nectar, makarande. Makarande, mana mana samadhakara. Mana mana samadhakara. My mind, mana mana samadhakara, is like a Our mind, mana mana samadhakara. Our mind is like a bee, madhukar. He's doing madhukar, he's doing collecting work, collecting honey, flower to flower. And he lands on one flower, then, oh, this is very good nectar, very sweet. So the jiva is wandering around, drinking the nectar, trying to get the nectar by landing on cactus flowers. The flowers of cactus, which is not very good. But then he comes to the Guru, he lands on the Guru, and he drinks the nectar of the Guru's words. Then, Makarande, his mind becomes controlled. His mind becomes peaceful by drinking that sweet lotus nectar from the Padma, the Mukha Padma of the Guru. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his words are like that. Chaitanya Vachan. Apani tuliya hatte bhatta nahi khai, pucha praya kariyana malani yogai. Text 29. Nityananda did not eat his rice with his own hands. Srivas Thakur's wife, Malini, would feed Nitai as if he were her own son. A little bit old, but 35-year-old son, 40-year-old son being fed by his Malini. This is Balyabhav, Brajabhav. Nityananda Anubhav, Jane Pati Brata, Nityananda Sevakare Jena Putra Mata. Patibrata Malini, chaste Malini, she knew the glories of Nityananda Anubhav. She understood that, it's translated glories, but Nityananda Anubhav, due to his Balyabhav, his Braja Balyabhav, and we say, Gopal, we say, Balagopal, Krishna's small boy with Ladu in his hand, Balagopal, his Balyabhav, like a baby, small child. So this Anubhav, this is an expression of that bhav. These Anubhavs are different characteristics and symptoms. The dancing around like a mischievous child with no clothes, like children, babies do, and then demanding the breast of the mother and drinking the milk of the mother. This is the Anubhav. These are expressions of the Sthayi Bhav of being a child. It's Anubhav. So now, there's another pastime about the crow. So now you see lots of crows here in India. Wherever there's people, there's crows. Crows, dogs, these things. So now next time we see a crow, we can think maybe he's coming in the Sampradaya. You know, this crow. Right? Because you have to think that there are human beings living here in Mayapur that can trace their lineage back, let's say Mayapur, maybe Navadvip, because this is all flooded by the Ganga for 100 years after Lord Chaitanya's departure. But at least in Navadvip Mandal, there are families that can trace back their lineage 20 generations. Like these guys. Jackals. So they say, yes, my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was here 500 years ago. It's not very far. So the human beings, they've been living here. You see people plowing the fields with bullocks or bale, and you see the Naukawalas plying the waters of the Ganga with their wooden boats carved out from some tree. That's been going on for hundreds of years, thousands of years. It's a timeless ambience, a timeless setting. Agriculture is going on for thousands and thousands of years. So, what is true for the human beings is also true for the birds. Pakshigan. Right? Manushgan, Pakshigan. Pakshigan is the birds of the holy Dham. The Acharya's Vishnu Chakravarti, he's telling that the birds, this is only 1700s, 300 years ago, he's saying, I see that the Pakshi, Tota, Moor, Quail, the birds of Vrindavan, they're great sages. Exactly the same thing is told by Shukadeva Goswami in 10th canto describing Krishna Lila. He's seeing Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, Hari Vallabha, his other name is Hari Vallabha Das. He's saying, oh, see these Koil and Tota, Moor? They're all great sages. They're all great rishis. They've come here to Vrindavan. They're living in Vrindavan. They're singing the glories of the Lord. They're witnessing the pastimes. They're singing the glories of the Lord. He's seeing like this. And that's actually a fact. So these crows, we see crows, and they should be an Udipana, or Udipaka. Udipaka. They should be a stimulant or a catalyst, a reminder, like a buzzword. We see crow, then we think, oh, crow. Caw, caw, caw. No, we should think, oh, maybe this is a crow, this is this descendant of the crow from Nityananda's Leela. This is a great-great-great-grandson crow, or something like that. Grandson crow. It's a relative. So in that sense, then we realize our own finitude, that all the living entities in the Holy Dham are made of much greater stuff than we are. They're born in this land. Even the crows, we say, oh, this crow is disturbing, making noise, not very nice sound. No, this crow is better than we are. There's a good chance that this crow is here, relatives of this crow were here 500 years ago, flying above the kirtan party. Flying above the kirtan party and Haribo, Haribo. What do you know? You can't say. So everything is sacred. This is Chintamani Bhumi. Chintamani Bhumi, this is Divya Dham, Transcendental Dham. The trees are sacred. In Braj Bhumi, at least until recently, no one would ever cut a branch of a tree. A sub-vriksha, sub-pair kalpa-vriksha hai. All the trees are kalpa-vriksha. And the monkeys, people feed the monkeys, they think they're like, Hanuman's brothers or something. Monkey seva, bandhur seva. They have so much regard for the trees, the birds. Everyone's feeding the birds in Vrindavan. Because they're Brijvasis. We're like guests here, we're observers here. We're like the zoo, we're like the animals in the cage in the zoo. We're on the residents, the residents of Mayapur, the human beings or the animals, they're observing us. We're like the visitors to the zoo. People visit a zoo and there's an animal inside a cage, a lion, and you look and say, oh, look at the lion, he's in the cage. But here, we're in the cage. We're in the cage and all these living entities are observing us. Oh, who is this? Someone's come from Germany and he looks like some zoo animal. To the Dhamvasis, they're flying, oh, I'm born here, my great-grandfather's born here. I've been hearing kirtan all my life, and I'm eating Mahaprasad. What do crows eat every day? Mahaprasad, right? An interesting thing about the crow, a good quality of the crow is that they never eat alone. Of course, Indian people are very much like this, sharing their food. Western people, somehow they get the maha cake, 8 o'clock at night, maybe, something, 8 o'clock at night, some maha cake. If they get that by some, param bhagya, they get this maha cake at 8 o'clock, then they run off to some corner. And they eat it all by themselves with great ulas, anand. But the crow, the nature, this is something we can learn from the crow, the rishis tell us. The crow is also a guru. Many, many gurus are there. So the crow, whenever the crow finds some food, then he calls his friends. How, 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 how. But if we get some Mahaprasad, very, very quiet. Don't make any noise. But when they get some Mahaprasad, they make big announcement. Listen everybody, hey crows, come on boys. And they make ha ha ha. They jump around, they don't even eat. The food is right there. And they jump around, come on everybody, come on. Then there's something's happening over there. And they all 10, 15 fly in. And then of course they fight over it then, but but then, because there's not much, and he didn't expect 15 crows. So they all come.
Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Rajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Rajami Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami, Eno Kandam Haravinda Layatam, Bhagavatam Samasitam, Sundaram Tam, Kanta Tato Pikamanya, Vishesha Shubha, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami. Ananira Sasare, Kriya Vriti Manti, Ashanti Kanti Karyanti, Niranga Kanti, Anata Sivaya Sadhu, Tata Virasya, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Maham Najami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Maham Najami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Maham Najami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami, Govinda, Hari Purusha, Tamaham Vajami.
Krishna Krishna Hare Deva Deva Kirana Ichirami
Krishna Krishna Deva Deva Kirana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsali Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Mother's son. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Can we today or tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. Okay. Eight from 11. 8 from 11. Hmm. You need to do it.
Years almost every say simply my
What should I do? What should I do?
she told me that it's as soon as possible. So with yeah.
Okay.
Pleasant because you later wanted to get married. I told my brother that this house I will give initial you will not marry. Now it's all over the fisher.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you all very much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you later.
Please,
Bye bye.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Enjoy your day.